how to work less. It sounds like bollocks, doesn't it? There's a business coach here promising you can make your millions and hardly work at all, maybe just come in once a week to count your cash, something like that. Anyway, that is bollocks. That's not what I mean. Most people who come to me and buy my thing want to work less and want to have a business that's less dependent on them. And that's what I mean, really. That's what I want to unpack in this little video, right? They want more money, of course, not global domination. That's not usually a thing. They usually want to grow, and they often feel like growth means more work. And that might be how you feel, and more stress along with that work. So that might be unappealing. So how can you work less? Well, let me tell you. And there's a few ways, right? You can grow your business and make a bit more money, and you can hire or engage other people or other businesses to do some of the work you're currently doing or some of the additional work that comes if you grow, right? So you can pay people to do work rather than doing it yourself. And that's why I say growth is important, right? Because if you grow a bit, you've got more money to pay the people. So you don't pay people and work less and then feel broke. Of course, you can be more effective and efficient so you get more done in less time. Just work for your hours, right? I sometimes talk about putting boundaries around work, right? But, saying I'll stop at 3:00 or whatever and not go home and work at home, right? You can put boundaries around work. You can just stop and work a bit less. You can do this, but the consequences might be unappealing, right? Might be that stuff doesn't get done and bad things happen, things you don't like. People do this. They grow, they get busy, they start working harder, and they decide they don't like it and they shrink again. And that's one way of dealing with it. But if you don't want the negative effects of just stopping work, you can't just work less. You can't just put boundaries around work. You have to do the two things together. You have to grow, hire the people, put the systems in place, and put boundaries around work so you don't just do more work. Let me unpack this quickly. If you've grown your business, your first instinct is to work harder and do more of the work on the tools, plus the quoting, plus the invoicing, plus the ordering, and hire tradespeople and apprentices as you grow, and maybe someone to help in the office or with the bookkeeping or both. But here's the thing, you tend to hold on to the difficult bits and believe you're the only one capable of doing them, don't you? And you let your people only do basic stuff often, and perhaps under your supervision, unless it's something you don't understand like bookkeeping, in which case you probably ignore it altogether and don't worry too much about it. So you tend to go one of two ways, right? Either you don't give the people much responsibility, so you still hold on to a lot of the work and responsibility yourself, or you chuck all the responsibility at them and neglect it totally. That's quite common. So what happens often is either this business sticks around or doesn't go very well when you do your delegating, right? Hiring people can feel like more work and you struggle to fit managing them into your busy schedule because you're busy. So they don't perform as well as you'd like, or you don't delegate to them as well as you should have, so they don't perform as well as you'd like, which perpetuates that feeling that you need to hold on to the difficult or important stuff. So you're busy working harder than you'd like, you feel you've got to be there or near to hand in case something happens that needs you to handle it, and you feel like you can't easily grow. Right? It's very common for all of us, right? We're all subject to this feeling, right? You do grow, right, because you can, but as you grow, you sort of only hire the bare minimum. So that feeling I just described sticks around. So how do you work less then? How do I work less then? John, what are you on about, mate? Well, back to those options. Get more effective, so you get through a bit more work, sure, but that's a temporary band-aid, isn't it? You'll be at capacity again in no time. And there's a limit to how efficient and effective you can be, right? You've only got your 8 or 10 hours a day. I don't really want to encourage you to work longer than that. That's not the point of this. Which really only leaves hiring people and working less and letting the bad things happen, whatever they are, right? Not making as much money. So if you want to work less, you're probably talking about growing your business. You're probably talking about using the additional money to grow your team. You can hire tradies, trades assistants, labourers, site managers or foremen, apprentices, project managers, admin people, receptionists, bookkeepers, estimators. You can hire virtual assistants. I'm a fan, as you probably know if you've listened to any of my stuff before. You can work with agencies for VAs, for bookkeeping, for marketing, almost anything. Whoever you hire, right, whether you're hiring somebody to work for your business or somebody who works for another company to do work for your business. Whether you hire, you can't just hire them and sort of tell them what to do, like that, do this, and then leave them to it, right? That's bad delegation. Remember what I said a minute ago about bad delegation and poor performance? So you need to hire whoever it is and then delegate a responsibility to them properly. And this is where I see people make the mistake. They tend to delegate like this. Great, I'm giving you this job. Make sure you do this, 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 this. Don't forget that. Make sure you do it by then. All right, off you. Okay? Doesn't work out so well. What you need to do is write the system for how this thing, this procedure, this process gets done. Teach them the system. Make sure they understand. Give them a checklist to use so they don't forget any of the bits when they're doing it, and hold them accountable for following the system. And then you stick around until they're doing it right consistently. Only then can you back away and free up your time to do less work. Right, delegate properly and things go much better. I've written the 4 steps and expanded on them a bit into a guide to successful delegating, because I'm good at names, as you know. So grab that, comment or reply, delegating, and we'll sort you out. Of course, in my program, there's a full training on the delegation process and on how to write a system. So if you want that, buy my thing, right? Book a call. It's business coaching. Book a call. We'll talk about it. There's a process to go through before I ask you to pay any money. The call's a short call to explain some of that for you. Remember, the point of my program is to grow your business with a 10% net profit margin and a 40-hour week for you and everybody else, and people in their jobs doing a good job and happy at work. That part is what the delegation process is there for, right? So that those people can do their jobs and be enjoying themselves. So comment delegation if you want the guide, or book a call and we'll get in touch. See ya.